Jean, can we focus on our discussion on social and emotional development, mental health and well-being of the very young child?
So the importance of social and emotional development has not had the same kind of emphasis over many years as, say, physical development and language development. But what we're now learning is the social and emotional development, how little ones learn about themselves, become more aware of themselves, how they learn how to regulate their energy and their tension, their self-regulation, has a very, very big influence on how they interact with the world. So when we think about well-being in infants and toddlers, first of all, the data and research shows us that little babies and toddlers are absolutely, it's possible for them to have mental health disorders. That, you can have a baby who has depression, which is really hard to think of. And there's a good resource called Supporting Ontario's Youngest Minds, if people want to look more deeply into that. But when we're thinking about social and emotional development, we're talking about the ability of the babies and toddlers to form close and meaningful relationships with others, including other children, so forming close relationships, absolutely key. The next is to be able to become what I call the boss of your emotion. The learning, babies and toddlers are all about learning what does this emotion feel like, and over time they learn how to regulate that emotion, how to manage it, how they express it. That's crucial, and that's part of growth and development. And so it requires adults who are hugely attuned to the baby's different expressions. So when they are distressed, an adult needs to come in and say, "Oh, I see you're distressed. What can we do to make you feel better? What can we do so that you're not so distressed?" Whereas oftentimes it is, "Oh, don't worry, don't cry, there's nothing to cry about." We really have to reel in those kind of messages so that the child, the babies and toddlers learn my emotions count. I'm seen and felt by the people in my environment. And then the third component of social and emotional learning is being able to explore the environment and learn. Because once you're securely feel safe and know you're going to be soothed and that you are seen by people, then you can explore the world and learn. So that's an all-round definition of what social and emotional learning is. It follows a pattern over time. It is integrated with other development as children's gross motor and fine motor and cognitive development. They all interplay. One doesn't develop and then the other one catches up. So we need to be thinking about the development of the whole child when we're thinking of this.
Infant mental health and children's social emotional development is a relatively new body of knowledge for our early childhood educators, something that we haven't delved into deeply over time. You spoke about one resource. Can you suggest some other resources for our early childhood educators to deepen their understanding about things like self-regulation and infant mental health?
I think to fully understand this concept of self-regulation, I think the best resource that we have is Dr. Stuart Shanker's work. His work on self-reg, looking at the development in a biological domain, in a cognitive domain, social domain. He looks at 5 domains and really helps parents and educators look to see, how am I understanding this behavior? And is it possible that this behavior that I'm seeing as this child is crying is stress behavior rather than misbehavior? Am I picking up the baby's cues that this is a fatigue cue? It may look like they're having a meltdown, and you think it's a consequence, they have to be consequence, and then you stop and say, well, wait a minute. When did they sleep last? No wonder they've discombobulated. It's their biological domain. They need sleep. So I love Stuart Shanker's work. There are other resources that people are looking at just now in terms of Tools for Life is a program that's being well studied here in Hamilton, and one that I've been very impressed with so far.
Thanks very much, Jean. That's going to be really helpful to our educators.